Okay, welcome to the Rustology Show, guys. So today we are releasing the eighth episode of the Rustology Show, and I'm very excited to release this episode, especially because the topic that we are discussing today is addiction and substance, and it's something that like people in India they consume substance, of course, very much. Overall world they do, I'm sure about it, but like in India, things like alcohol, cigarette, marijuana now, anything that has nicotine is something जो काफ़ी ज़्यादा यूज़ हो रहा है. So I think that discussing this is very important because there is a large audience, I think, for this out there who would want to hear or listen to what kind of effect all of these substances have on their psyche, on their mind. Today on this episode, we have our guest as Dr. Madhur Rati, who is someone who is a psychiatrist in Yatharth Hospital. He's also an hypnotherapist. He's also a mental health expert, mental health speaker, and his ideas, or essentially what we are discussing today, is basically whatever he has learned from his experiences, like the patients that he has seen over the years of like people who have been consuming these substances. So इसको discuss करना I think बहुत ज़रूरी है because marijuana अब is something that is of course very common, especially in my generation, which is like the generation Z. बहुत time से I'm sure it's it's been consumed since generations to generations, but now that I'm at an age where I'm seeing all of these, marijuana or cigarette or even substances like LSD, psychedelics, being so easily consumed by so many people around me, and I'm seeing how all of these things are so much more easily accessible now. So I think being educated about all of these substances is, I think, essentially it's very important. So yeah, that's what we are discussing today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation. You can watch this conversation with your family, being alone. You want to walk. You want to have some meal. You want to have a cup of coffee. Enjoy this episode while doing something good. And yeah, see you at the end of the episode. By the way, there's something that I want to talk about after the episode ends. Thank you.
Hard liquor is mainly लोग whiskey पे ही जाते हैं. In this part of the region, I have seen people going for rum, gin, vodka more. Also because military का इधर ज़्यादा है. There are more people from military and army. उनमें I have seen कि ये gin, rum, whiskey ये ज़्यादा है. Hard liquor ज़्यादा है. क्योंकि उनको मिलिट्री में आर्मी में मिलता है, राशन में मिलता है और कंसेशन में मिलता है. तो
So a lot of military people consume it.
yeah.
Because probably mountains and everything to keep themselves warm.
It's also cultural, ना. मतलब all the military parties, it is very accessible, it is very available, and everybody is like तुम पी नहीं रहे तो तुम क्या कर रहे हो. So वो थोड़ा सा social pressure भी होता है.
Social pressure होता है, conformity के लिए भी होता है, right? Is it recording right now? Okay. So what do you think addiction is clinically defined as?
Addiction को define करने से पहले I would want to define any substance when we start using it. कोई भी चीज़ जब हम use करते हैं तो there are different phases that we go through. One is we call use, कि आपको मन हो रहा है कोई चीज़ consume करने का, जैसे you say coke, कोका कोला या फिर फैंटा. आप कभी न्यू ईयर पार्टी में हो, कहीं आपको दिख गया, you consume it at that time point, but then you would not always want it. And it is only for that purpose, only at that time point. So that is what we call use. ठीक है. Use के आगे की stage होती है misuse. You're using something which is not meant for that thing. बहुत सारे लोगों को I have seen they have addiction of cough syrups. क्योंकि cough syrup has opioid components in it. तो उनको उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है, कफ नहीं है, but they are using it for some other purpose, to feel good or to feel that relaxation. So that is misuse. Then comes abuse. Abuse is you're using something beyond what you should be using it, right? कि मुझे नींद नहीं आ रही है, मुझे डॉक्टर ने नींद की गोली दी है, I am taking that tablet. That is use. I am using it for what it is meant for, right? But then even when I am able to sleep, just to feel better sleep, I am taking that tablet. This is abuse. जब उसकी ज़रूरत नहीं है तब भी मैं उसको दे रहा हूँ. Right?
Dependency आ गया ना इसमें तो.
नहीं dependency आने को अभी time है. So this is use, misuse, abuse. इसके आगे आता है harmful use. आई एम यूजिंग दैट सब्सटेंस नोइंग कि इससे मुझे हार्म हो रहा है, मुझे अभी तक डिपेंडेंसी हुई नहीं है इसकी. लॉट ऑफ पीपल विथ एल्कोहल यूज हैव हार्मफुल यूज. दे नो कि इससे फाइनेंशियल लॉस हो रहा है, दे नो कि इससे सोशल रेपुटेशन हार्म हो रही है, दे नो कि इसकी वजह से मेरी हेल्थ खराब हो रही है, बट स्टिल दे फील किट कर लेंगे, कल से बंद कर लेंगे, राइट. दिस इज हार्मफुल यूज. व्हेन यू नो देयर इज हार्म टू योर हेल्थ और हार्म टू योर सोशल लाइफ, स्टिल यू कंटिन्यू टू यूज इट, दैट इज हार्मफुल यूज. एंड उसके आगे आता है एडिक्शन या फिर डिपेंडेंस. So in ICD-10 they call it dependence, and in DSM they call it use disorder, alcohol use disorder,
substance use, SUD, they
right.
call that.
So this use disorder is what we in general terms call addiction. Now addiction has certain criterias. One is tolerance, कि पहले आपको एक ड्रिंक में जितना अच्छा लगता था अब एक में अच्छा नहीं लगता, तो ग्रेजुअली या तो उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी बढ़ रही है या क्वांटिटी बढ़ रही है. सो आपके माइंड में टॉलरेंस डेवलप हो रहा है. पहले एक ड्रिंक से सही लगता था, अब नहीं लगता, तो आपको उतना ही इफेक्ट आने के लिए यू नीड 2 drinks or 3 drinks. That's what we call tolerance. Then there is craving. जब आप नहीं ले रहे हो सब्सटेंस तो आपको उसकी क्रेविंग हो रही है, आपको लगता है कि मुझे वो चीज़ चाहिए. सो यू आर कॉन्स्टेंटली ट्राइंग टू परस्यू दैट थिंग और ट्राइंग टू गेट दैट थिंग. देन देयर इज विड्रॉल, कि जब आपको नहीं ले रहे हो तो आपको साइकोलॉजिकल विड्रॉल में क्रेविंग फील होगी, और फिजियोलॉजिकल विड्रॉल में आपको हाथ आपके कांपने लगेंगे, या फिर चिड़चिड़ापन होगा, या फिर आपको नींद नहीं आएगी, या फिर आपको बॉडी में हार्ट रेट बढ़ जाएगा. दीज आर ऑल सिम्टम्स ऑफ विड्रॉल. When that thing is taken out, your body is not able to manage itself. So you need to take it more to balance your body, right? So this is withdrawal. Then there is salience. A lot of people leave all other pleasurable activities. कि मुझे ना दोस्तों से मिलना है, ना मुझे घर पे किसी से बात करनी है, मुझे बस I just want to drink and I just want to relax. So you're leaving all other activities which are effective or which you used to do to pursue substance, to get substance. This is when all of these things start happening. और harmful use वाली सारी जो पहले वाली जो चीज़ें थी वो तो हो ही रही है, right? That is when we say कि ये dependence की तरफ जा रहा है, ये addiction की तरफ जा रहा है, कि उस चीज़ के बिना तुम रह ही नहीं सकते हो और तुम्हारे शरीर में वो चीज़ होना ज़रूरी है for you to function. Because of which, so we have this criteria called as CAGE criteria, especially for alcohol use. CAGE मतलब C is craving, A is agitation, G is guilt, and E is eye opener. So आपको किसी चीज़ को लेके constant craving रहती है. मुझे हमेशा लगता है कि मुझे शराब चाहिए. मुझे अगर वो नहीं मिलती है तो मैं annoyed हो जाता हूँ या मैं agitate हो जाता हूँ. मुझे गिल्ट रहता है कि मैंने नहीं करना चाहिए फिर भी मैं कर रहा हूँ, या फिर मेरे आसपास के लोग जब बोलते हैं कि ये मत करो तो मुझे गिल्ट फील होता है. और आई ओपनर मतलब सुबह उठते ही, आंखें खोलते ही पहली चीज़ आपको शराब चाहिए. द फर्स्ट थिंग यू थिंक इज कि आई वांट अल्कोहल सो दैट आई वुड फील बेटर, क्योंकि आपको विड्रॉल सिम्टम्स आ रहे हैं, उसको सेटल करने के लिए यू वांट टू ऐड अल्कोहल इन योर बॉडी. सो वी से अगर केज क्राइटेरिया CHE में से कोई भी 2 चीज़ें हैं, इट मीन्स यू आर गेटिंग एडिक्टेड टू दैट सब्सटेंस. मोस्ट लाइकली इट्स अल्कोहल.
Okay. See, what I have observed from whatever you have said, what I was thinking while you were talking about all of this was ki what happens neurologically in our mind. So, what I have an understanding about this is ki could be an assumption, but I think mostly जो substance use होता है, it is maybe for dopaminergic pleasures, right? So you consume a substance because you want a dose of dopamine, and so जब वो substance से आपको इतना ज़्यादा dopamine मिल रहा है, so of course you can tend to like you mentioned that you're not involved socially with people, you're not hanging out with people. जो healthy habits होती हैं, you're leaving all of that because सारा dopamine वो substance से मिल रहा है.
Right.
What do you think about this?
That is how it works. We have a reward pathway in our brain which is operating on dopamine, and every time you do something that gives you pleasure, your brain registers it. Your amygdala stores that memory, saying कि ये चीज़ अच्छी है, इससे अच्छा लगता है. So next time you get access to that, next time you get that cue, you feel like, oh, I want this.
Yeah.
This will make me feel good.
Sure.
When you do it again and again, what happens is any external substance when it enters the body, जो नॉर्मली जिन चीज़ों से डोपामिन रिलीज होगा, लोगों से मिलना या फिर वर्कआउट करना या फिर कोई गेम्स खेलना, ये सारी चीज़ों से जो डोपामिन रिलीज होगा दैट इज़ वेरी मिनिमल, राइट? क्योंकि वो ग्रेजुअली बिल्ड होगा, राइट? फॉर यू टू फील वेरी गुड इट हैज़ टू हैपन परसिस्टेंटली, ग्रेजुअली, और
एफर्ट लगता है,
एफर्ट लगता है. बट उतना जितना वो लास्ट मोमेंट पे बिल्ड होगा उससे ज़्यादा अगर वो चीज़ 10x 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 रिलीज हो रही है, एंड इफ आई टेक से कैनबिस और इफ आई टेक एल्कोहल, सडनली 1000x डोपामिन रिलीज हो रहा है ब्रेन में, तो द ब्रेन वुड ऑटोमेटिकली प्रेफर दैट.
It's like a shortcut, no? It's like कि अगर मैं इतना dosage of cannabis ले लूँगा या alcohol ले लूँगा मुझे जल्दी से मिल जाएगा. But
Exactly.
if I wanna कि workout करना है तो इसके लिए
लेकिन
मेहनत है.
जितने क्विकली वो राइज होता है उतने क्विकली वो फॉल भी होता है.
Fall भी होता है. That is
इसलिए
why
फिर
the
तुम्हें क्रेविंग आती है, इसलिए फिर तुम्हें और चाहिए होता है, इसलिए फिर जब तुम दूसरी एक्टिविटीज करने का ट्राई करते हो तो तुम्हें उतना किक नहीं मिलता है, उतना हिट नहीं मिलता है. दैट्स व्हाई यू गो बैक टू द सब्सटेंस, एंड दैट्स द compulsive loop of substance use.
Why do you think we are a slave to the dopamine? Why do you think so? See, because that's what
I
I'm
don't.
getting
I
at.
wouldn't call it slave. It's an evolutionary mechanism. It's the way, you know, human connections release dopamine. Activity, workout releases dopamine. Play releases
We
dopamine.
just come a bit close to the mic. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So all of these activities are encoded in our brain, and our brain is registering कि हाँ ये चीज़ें अच्छी, ये चीज़ें करनी चाहिए, right? तो it has an evolutionary basis to tell you what is right and what is not right, what is good and what is not good for evolution, for your survival, right? What has happened is that when we think about substances, we think only dopamine, but dopamine is not the only thing. It is the biological precipitate which is happening. But the bigger question is, why would somebody want that much dopamine? What in their life is making them feel dull, making them feel bad, or making them feel devoid of dopamine? It is for fun. Life में fun नहीं है. Life में if there is pain, if there is no pleasure, then people would choose something like this. It means there are other factors, social factors, personal factors, psychological factors, which is why we move towards substances a lot of times.
Do you think people are very much also afraid to face the realities of life, or I could say the difficulties of life, and so they consume substances? So it's like an escapism road that they are taking upon.
So for some people, so there are two hypotheses. One is some people take it to enhance pleasure, and some people take it to avoid pain. People who take it to enhance pleasure are generally people जो where they feel कि life ठीक ठाक चल रही है, and this is something which makes me feel better, right? I am good and I can get better, right? And then there is another type of people who are doing it to avoid pain, that their life is very painful, there are so many problems, and I don't want to deal with it, I want to just avoid it, or I just want to feel good despite all of this going on, right? कि मेरा ब्रेकअप हो गया, मेरे घर में फाइनेंशियल लॉसेस है, मेरा जॉब चला गया, मेरी हेल्थ अच्छी नहीं है, ये सब पे मुझे काम करने के लिए बहुत एफर्ट लगेंगे, द शोर लुक्स टू फार, बहुत वक्त लगेगा वहां तक पहुंचने के लिए, अभी मुझे क्या अच्छा फील कराएगा? सो आई वुड चूज अ शॉर्टकट एंड गो टू समथिंग व्हिच वुड मेक मी फील गुड इन द शॉर्ट टर्म. बट ग्रेजुअली ये होता है ना कि व्हेन यू कीप चूजिंग शॉर्टकट्स, you forget how to walk the longer path, and you remain trapped in that loop of taking that shortcut and coming out of it, taking that shortcut and coming out of it.
इसे हम आई थिंक जब सब्जेक्टिव वेलबीइंग की बात करते हैं तो शायद इसमें हम लोग यूडेमोनिज्म और हेडोनिस्टिक प्लेजर्स के बारे में भी बात करते हैं
Yeah.
कि कैसे वुड यू कॉल पीपल हु आर consuming substances and so on and so forth, are they on the path of hedonism? Do you think so?
Not always, not necessarily. See, I have seen in a lot of people, it's not a very big percentage of people कि जिन्होंने substance use शुरू किया and they ended up into dependence. So when I'm predominantly talking something becomes severely problematic when it ends up being a substance use disorder, when it ends up being addiction, when it ends up being dependence. But alcohol is something that has been consumed for years together, right? Alcohol, cannabis, ये सारी चीजें हमेशा से रही है. ऐसा नहीं है कि ये चीजें, even alcohol was at times being used as an anesthetic agent, right? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि everything is bad in itself, every substance is bad. It is just that आप किस intention से उसको approach कर रहे हो.
Sure.
And overuse of anything is harmful. That is what is happening. So human beings have always tried to find meaning, purpose, pleasure in life. So I wouldn't say that it is bad to seek pleasure, but how do you seek it? How much does it last? How much do you remain trapped around that pleasure? That is where order becomes disorder. Daily functioning becomes problematic.
Yeah. When the daily functioning is distorted and when your thinking patterns are distorted, then you are on the wrong path of life,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
But so I want to ask you that. Just again, I want to ask you that ये जो हमारे दिमाग में लाइक जैसे लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ सोबर हम रहते हैं काफी टाइम तक, अगर कोई बहुत टाइम से अल्कोहल कंज्यूम कर रहा है कुछ भी, and then there are long periods of sobriety, then cravings suddenly appear after a long period of time. Is it that you miss that feeling that you used to have? Is it that now in your environment you don't get that high anymore, or you don't feel that good anymore or pleased anymore, and so you go back to your older phase? Is that how you would characterize it?
It can be any of the things. For some people, it is out of boredom that they go back to alcohol, right? That life is very monotonous. Let's add a bit of excitement into it. For some people, it is to avoid pain, as I said, to avoid painful experiences, to avoid sadness, to avoid emotions that feel very overwhelming. So that seems like a shortcut.
Sure.
For some people, it is to enhance pleasure. कि चलो यार बहुत दिन से नहीं पिया तो लेट टू सेलिब्रेट दैट, कि आज तो कुछ हुआ है, कुछ तो अचीवमेंट है, तो वो सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए ड्रिंक कर लेते हैं, right? So that can also happen. So it's not necessarily कि craving, that is a craving. It is also at times, it happens with people with पानी पूरी also, कि बहुत दिन से पानी पूरी नहीं खाई है, चलो आज खा लेते हैं. आप रास्ते से जा रहे हो, आपको दिखती है, आपको लगता है कि चलो यार एक प्लेट तो ले ही लेते, बहुत दिन हो गया, right? So it is not that craving suddenly appears. Sometimes we say कि जब आप ट्रीटमेंट भी कर रहे हो, जब आप सोबरिटी मेंटेन भी करते हो, lapses can happen. It is up to us to not allow those lapses to convert into relapses. कि आप पहले के पैटर्न में बिल्कुल फिसल गए, बिल्कुल बॉटम पे आ गए वापस से, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. That is where we have to be watchful, and that is where we psychoeducate and we counsel and do therapy about.
Right. What do you think is like? What do you think denial ये जो डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म है, प्रॉब्ली काफ़ी लोगों में रहता है जो सब्सटेंस यूज करते हैं. जैसे आई हैव अ फ्रेंड, तो ही वुड से दैट यू नो दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर सब्सटेंस अगर मैं इसको छोड़ भी दूँ तो भी कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, अपनी लाइफ से मैं कर सकता हूँ, ये है वो है. यू नो अगर मैं इस चीज़ को जैसे वो marijuana काफ़ी कंज्यूम करता है, तो ही जस्ट सेज कि अगर मैं इसको नहीं भी करूँगा ना तो भी मैं कर सकता हूँ.
Right.
So would you call that denial, or when do you actually realize that this is denial? The person is right now projecting or so to say showing denial. When do you realize that?
So there are two defense mechanisms when we talk about any substance use. One is denial, one is rationalization, which are very common. They are very
Or I'm so sorry to cut you. Intellectualization as well. Do you think so?
not as much. Rationalization is more common.
Okay.
It also happens कि because these are very unconscious defense mechanisms. All defense mechanisms are unconscious.
Yeah.
So they don't understand कि हम ये कर रहे हैं. It is somebody with a trained eye. It is somebody with, say, a mental health professional, a psychologist, a psychiatrist who's sitting and who's having a conversation. वहाँ वो denial surface होता हमको दिखेगा, right? As a clinician, I would say that, oh, this person is in denial. That is where I need to now understand कि okay, इसको denial से acceptance की तरफ पहले लेके जाना पड़ेगा. उसके बाद awareness आएगा, उसके बाद ये उस चीज़ पे काम करना शुरू करेगा, उसके बाद तो कहीं जाके ये चीज़ resolve होगी. And you cannot do that unless the person is willing to work on it themselves. Denial is one way of, क्योंकि if I know I'm doing something wrong and I acknowledge that I'm doing it wrong and still I continue doing it, so it takes away my self-esteem. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel I am experiencing conflicting emotions. I'm actually going against my own belief. When I know that no, podcasting is not a good thing and I am coming for podcast, तो मेरे अंदर तो conflict शुरू हो गया ना, तो फिर मैं उसको कैसे cut down करूँगा? तो denial is a way to cut down that anxiety. It's a defense mechanism to calm down that conflict in your own head.
How do you exactly practically do so that you can sort out this internal conflict in you? And so this is also a problem, which is also, I think, a general problem. People face an internal conflict in their mind so much. Like even in their social life, they feel that, you know, कि मुझे इससे बात करनी है, मुझे इससे नहीं करनी. These are the kind of people I want to hang out with. Like this is a general problem, so to say. But how do you, when it comes to like substance, ये जो internal conflict है, हम उसको कैसे regulate कर सकते हैं?
I think it's, so when we talk about defense mechanism, we talk about id ego and superego. The function of ego is to manage this conflict. Sometimes it does subconsciously, sometimes we become aware of it and we take steps. So ego is all about finding the middle ground, right? It's like one part of me says कि नहीं मुझे तो गाड़ी 120 पे भगानी है, and then another part of me says कि नहीं यार speed limit तो 60 है, तो 60 पे ही चलाएंगे तो सही रहेगा. Why unnecessarily go there? But then my mind says कि चल ना 120 ना 60,
90.
let's do 90,
80.
let's come to a midway,
Mhm.
so that we don't feel missing out the thrill, but at the same time we remain within the safe limits.
Mm.
So that is what ego does, that is what defense mechanism do. It cuts down the anxiety, it brings the balance. Sometimes when you are aware, you have to write things down and find out कि what's the middle path, क्योंकि आपको कोई चीज़ तो छोड़नी पड़ेगी. Sometimes it's about acceptance, sometimes it's about seeking out support, talking to a therapist, talking to a person who helps you find a middle path. So that is how these conflicts can be resolved. And a lot of times our mind is so powerful, it resolves most of the conflicts by itself. हमको पता भी नहीं चलता है कि conflict resolve हो रहा है.
हो सकता है. You talked about talking to a friend or a therapist. What is my understanding that I have seen is that people are not ready to talk about their insecurities and the uncomfortable situations that they face. It's also, of course, there are a lot of reasons to it कि कैसे उस इंसान को सिखाया गया है बात करना, क्या vocabulary उसकी यूज करी गई है. What do you think about this? कि how can like people talk about uncomfortable conversations? How can they face uncomfortable conversation? Because talking about this is of course a big thing for the person, because it's like maybe उनकी एक insecurity बाहर आ रही है उस टाइम पे. बहुत सारे एक ऐसे parts आ रहे हैं बाहर माइंड के जो बहुत डियर है उसके लिए, या फिर जो बहुत बहुत इनसिक्योरिटी है, बेसिकली
Vulnerable है.
वल्नरेबिलिटी है काफी ज्यादा.
Right.
हाउ डू यू tackle
I
that?
think the onus lies not on the one who's trying to speak, but on the one who's listening. Human beings need to feel safe to open up. If you are not feeling judged, if you are feeling safe, if you are feeling comfortable, somebody is coming and telling me कि मैंने ऐसे ऐसे किया, मैंने ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था. I tell him, okay, tell me more. It's okay. The person will not feel judged. But if I'm telling you ऐसे कैसे कर सकते हो यार, तो मैंने तुमसे ये expect नहीं किया था, then the person would shut down, because then he is like, oh my god, I can't tell this person because he's not seeing it from my perspective, right? I can't be vulnerable here. So the onus lies on how well the other person is listening. जहाँ पे सुनने वाले लोग होते हैं वहाँ पे लोग open up हो भी जाते हैं. A lot of people don't find that kind of people where they can open up, and that's why we say कि you go to a mental health professional where somebody is trained to see you non-judgmentally.
Have you ever met people, like I'm sure you have probably, but I want to see कि आप कैसे इस conversation को deal करते हो, which is that people who are not ready to go for therapy and they're not ready to probably talk to a mental health professional, like they would rather say probably just to defend themselves, they say कि मैं तो इससे बढ़िया इससे बात कर लूँगा, उससे बात कर लूँगा. How do you tackle that situation?
So there's one thing, talking particularly about substance use, we talk about motivation enhancement therapy, जिसमें एक component आता है जिसे हम कहते हैं roll with resistance. Somebody who's not willing to do it, I would not push them. I'll tell them, ठीक है, आपको नहीं करना है, बात मत कीजिए. अगर आपको कभी लगता है करना है तो then you can come and do it. Because the more I push, the more they'll close. So I choose not to push them. I choose to just keep the door open for them and let them know कि ठीक है, this is what can happen. You keep a watch on these things, and if you think that you are ready, whenever you are ready, we can do this. That's the best way, I think.
Yeah, that's true. But we also talked about willingness, right? So that like your willingness to follow the healthy habits. This willingness, when we talk about, why are some people willing to do certain good things, and why are some people are not willing to do certain good things?
I think it comes down to their own identity of how they see themselves, what they see themselves as, because our actions, our beliefs would always incline with our sense of identity. If I see myself as somebody who does these things, then I'm more likely to do these things. If I see somebody, a lot of people who are into addiction are not able to let go addiction because their identity is around alcohol. कि मैं शराबी हूँ या मैं नशेड़ी हूँ, मैं तो इसके बिना कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा. तो जब वो छोड़ने की कोशिश करते भी है तो कहीं ना कहीं सोसाइटी उनको रिमाइंड कर देती है, या कहीं ना कहीं उनके दिमाग में वो चीज़ आती है कि यार मैं तो शराबी हूँ, मैं कैसे शराब छोड़ूँ. तो दैट इज़ वेयर इट कैन रीस्टार्ट, इट कैन हैपन अगेन, द लैप्सेस हैपन अगेन. So to do or not to do that thing basically depends on identity, and that is why a lot of times the work has to be done around identity. How do they see themselves? Apart from the substance, how do they see their own self?
How do you change that perception? Because the way people see themselves, I mean, it is very difficult to, so to say, change that. Because it's like a perception that has been made over on the basis of observations about your own self and the experiences that you have seen.
Right.
उस चीज को बदलना कितना मुश्किल हो सकता है. I can just assume as a student of psychology, because the person has, and a lot of times the person is conservative, conventional, I would say very committed to the identity that they
Yes,
have. They're
yes.
like कि भाई ये चीज नहीं मैं तो ऐसा ही हूँ या जो भी है,
Agreed.
you know. And this is not mechanism. This is the reality.
Agreed.
That's how they perceive themselves. So changing the perception about self, I would like to assume it is very difficult, or maybe is sometimes impossible.
It is difficult. It's not impossible. It is difficult. Difficult to the point कि जब तक सामने वाले को खुद नहीं लगता कि I need to now change this identity they want. That's where again willingness comes into picture. जब तक I've heard this. So when you speak about identity and how difficult it is to change identity, it is difficult. Sometimes we have to work on the future identity. कि अगर आइडेंटिटी के बारे में जब मैं बोलता हूँ तो इट्स मोर लाइक कि अगर मुझे अंबानी जितना पैसा चाहिए तो मुझे अंबानी जैसा सोचना पड़ेगा, राइट? तो जब मेरी अंबानी जैसी इंटरनल आइडेंटिटी बनेगी तो आई वुड नो हाउ टू मैनेज दैट मनी. Even if I get that money today, I don't know what to do with it because
Ideal self you're talking
Right.
about, is it?
no, not really ideal self.
Okay.
So when we talk about identity, sometimes we have to think in terms of कि आप अगर शराब छोड़ दोगे और आपको शराब नहीं पीनी है तो what kind of person do you need to become? What kind of person is that who's able to let it go, who's able to think through that? ये क्या होगा? कोई बात नहीं. हाँ. What kind of person is that who's able to let it go and how does that person think? What's the identity of that person? What does that person think about themselves? Right? तो ये हुई identity की बात. Right? तो वो ideal self हमें बनाना पड़ेगा. We'll have to put an seed in their mind to think about what does that person operate like. Second thing that I wanted to tell you was कि there is this story about a dog. So man was standing in his door in his house and there was a doormat and a dog was sitting on it. His neighbor comes and says that your dog is bleeding, right? Because there was some nail which was poking into the dog. So he says ki okay. Then he says, why is he not getting up? Then the man says, because the pain is not enough for him to get up. So sometimes people don't take action till the pain becomes enough for them, right? And that is what happens, and that is when the treatment of any addiction, any dependence, any substance use becomes easy, becomes fruitful, because the person becomes motivated to take that action. As a therapist, as a psychiatrist, as a psychologist, we cannot make people change. We cannot make people do things that they don't want to do. We can only facilitate them to do what they want to do. तो वो willingness अंदर से होना चाहिए. That is when the result comes, right? So in a lot of people, if they are not willing, they are very reserved and they are very attached to that identity. It becomes difficult to let go. We generally say कि आप जब if you are treating say blindness or stroke, तो you cannot say कि हर patient ठीक हो जाएगा. नहीं होता है हर patient ठीक. कुछ पेशेंट ठीक होते हैं, कुछ पेशेंट में थोड़ी डिसेबिलिटी रहती है, वो मेंटेन रहती है, एंड कुछ पेशेंट नहीं सर्वाइव कर पाते हैं. द सेम थिंग हैपेंस इन साइकेट्री ऑल्सो. वी डू नॉट क्लेम दैट ऑल पेशेंट्स वुड गेट बेटर और एवरीबडी वुड लीव देयर एडिक्शंस, बिकॉज दैट्स एन अनरियलिस्टिक एक्सपेक्टेशन. Because we see addiction as a social issue, as a personality flaw, but it is biological. We are talking about dopamine, we are talking about pleasure pathway, we are talking about impulsive compulsive loop. तो हर बार जब आप सब्सटेंस लेते हो तो आपके दिमाग में चेंज हो रहा है, आपके न्यूरल सर्किटरी में चेंज हो रहा है. जितने ज़्यादा देर तक रहेगा उतना आपको उससे निकलना डिफिकल्ट जाएगा, बिकॉज उतना टाइम तो आपको उससे दूर रहना पड़ेगा ना कम से कम. So that is where treatment comes into picture. That is where medicines come into picture because it is biological. So we would not ever say कि हाँ थेरेपी से सब ठीक हो जाएगा या फिर दवाई से सब ठीक हो जाएगा. नहीं हो सकता. That's why for some people it's difficult to change that identity even with intensive therapy. And for some people who are motivated, for some people who are aware, for some people who are in a milder stage, it is easier to work on these things because they are willing to work on these things.
I get what you're saying. You essentially mentioned here basically from when I talked about perception, you talked about बहुत ज़्यादा आपने emphasis दिया आइडियल सेल्फ पे. मैंने देखा कि क्या आपको बनना है उस पर ध्यान दो. क्या आपको एक नशेड़ी बनना है, क्या आपको अंबानी बनना है. It's like that, so you need to sort that out. Which could be also, it's like a internally you are talking
and
about.
it is not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy
There will be
thing,
a lot of
course.
hurdles, but if you have read a book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, he stated that if you know your why, you can figure out anyhow.
That is
So
true.
if I know why I want to leave alcohol, I can figure out how. I can figure out how to get over my craving, how to get over my tremors, how to get over when to take medicines, how to overcome my intense physical withdrawal symptoms also at times. And I've seen people do that. their why is very strong that they're like नहीं नहीं मेरा बेटा है और मैं नहीं चाहता कि मेरा बेटा भी इस चीज़ पे जाए, मेरी ज़िंदगी ख़राब हुई है शराब से, मैं नहीं चाहता कि मेरे बेटे की हो, तो उसके लिए मुझे शराब छोड़नी है. And then people are able to do those things. People are able to let go certain things because the relationships matter to them, because their health matters to them, because their society community matters to them. तो ऐसे भी लोग हैं जो कर लेते हैं if their why is strong enough.
This is very much true because मैंने recently भी एक psychologist से बात करी थी and he also said that the reason that people don't want to change is that they don't have a strong reason to do it.
Exactly.
They feel like कि वो priority नहीं है दिमाग में कि ये क्या important है क्या नहीं है, and so they cannot manage or I would say regulate their priorities. So how would you like basically I would say कि आप अपनी priorities को कैसे set कर सकते हो?
देखिए sometimes there are emotional reasons for that. Sometimes you tell me that you should change the way you dress, but I don't think the need for that, so I would not do it unless if I change dressing and that changes something about my life, that takes me to different people, that takes me to different places, that gives me opportunity that I am not coming right now, then I would probably want to do that because I know that dressing is what is leading to all of this change. So why अपने आप आता है, वो priority तब change होती है when either something is at stake because you're going to lose something. You tell me you dress this way and you'll lose your job.
No, of course
Then I would change it because I am to lose something or to gain something. That is when people generally decide to change.
Yeah, right. How do you think people who are using substance and alcohol or whatever, do you think they are attached to the substance a lot?
Sometimes they are.
They have emotional because कई बार होता है that भाई ये करूँगी तो फिर एक मेमोरी जुड़ी है इससे, ये करा था मतलब इतना आया था, पता है ये हुआ था, हम लोग कसौल थे और फिर ये एक्सपीरियंस करा था और ये इतना spiritual experience. Some people talk about that they had a spiritual awakening also. I think that's a different maybe topic to discuss. But what do you think about this?
If you remember our old dog-loving psychologist, Pavlo, right? He talked about association. And this is association. Every single emotion you have experienced and that substance is there. Some people drink only when they are happy because their association is with happiness. शराब की बोतल तभी खोलो जब आप खुश हो. And I, to a certain degree, think that that's a good thing to do because then you won't always need it and sometimes it's just celebration. But a lot of people take support of alcohol to feel better when they're feeling bad, to manage negative emotions, and that is where it becomes problematic.
When you need to manage the negative emotions, that is the time when it becomes a problem. Right?
When it becomes a problem because then every time you felt good, you acknowledge and you attribute it to alcohol. शराब की वजह से मुझे बुरे से अच्छा फील होता है, शराब की वजह से मेरा दर्द कम हो जाता है, शराब की वजह से मेरा पेन कम हो जाता है, शराब की वजह से लाइफ बेरेबल हो जाती है, शराब की वजह से नींद अच्छी आती है. तो then every time you see that alcohol is my superman, and that association becomes difficult to dissociate then.
How do you make people manage the attachment that they have with the substance?
See, when I generally work on these issues, these are the issues that I would specifically refer to somebody who works with motivational enhancement therapy or a psychologist. As a psychiatrist, I predominantly deal with the medical parts of things. It does come up in the conversation and I give certain insights to patients or certain assessments just to evaluate their degree of motivation and how much are they, what is alcohol for them, what does it mean for them, what is their association with it. I do evaluate these things. But most of the time when patients come to me, they are in a severe state where they require medicines. So I work with medicines part, detoxification of alcohol, which is basically removing the alcohol from your body and then putting them at times on anti-craving agents, which would stop the craving, which would stop you from going there. Works on biological craving. For psychological craving, obviously therapy is what would work.
At what point do you prescribe medication in the cases of addiction?
So there are patients, as I told you, disorder. If it is something which is becoming biological, कि आपका liver खराब हो रहा है या फिर आपको नींद नहीं आ रही है, sleep becomes one of the very important factors, especially with alcohol, cannabis, and these things. These are the factors where, or there are psychotic symptoms, hallucination, delusion, or there are suicidal thoughts, ideas, because chronic alcohol use can lead to depression, chronic cannabis use can lead to depression. Or there is very significant anxiety affecting their sleep, affecting their appetite. These are the area where biology is impacted. That is where we say कि अब दवाई की जरूरत पड़ेगी. बिकॉज बायोलॉजी को दवाई ठीक करेगी, पहले बायोलॉजी थोड़ी ठीक होने लग जाए फिर साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स पे थेरेपी काम
और
करे।
मेडिकेशन का यही काम होता है ना, जो रिसेप्टर्स हैं उनको स्टेबल कर देना, रेगुलेट कर देना।
रिसेप्टर्स को ऑक्यूपाई करना, तो अल्कोहल जिन रिसेप्टर्स को ऑक्यूपाई कर रहा है, वी गिव मेडिसिन टू ऑक्यूपाई द सेम रिसेप्टर्स इनिशियली एंड ग्रेजुअली वी टेपर इट डाउन, क्योंकि वो जो दवाइयाँ हैं दोज आर स्टडीड मेडिसिन, सो हमें पता है कि कितने देर काम करेगी, इसका इफेक्ट कितने देर रहेगा, कितना डोज देने पे कितना मेटाबोलाइज होगा, कितना ब्रेन तक पहुंचेगा, विच इज़ नॉट समथिंग दैट वी कैन रियली क्वान्टिफाई इन टर्म्स ऑफ एल्कोहल, क्योंकि एल्कोहल उतना मेटाबोलाइज ना हो, एल्कोहल बॉडी के टिश्यूज में स्टोर हो रहा है, सो विथ एल्कोहल इट बिकम्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट एंड एल्कोहल लोग धीरे धीरे कम करने की कोशिश करते हैं लेकिन कर नहीं पाते क्योंकि वो अगेन बॉटल से एसोसिएशन है। So that is why we give medicines to substitute the alcohol at the receptor level and then gradually taper it down so that they don't have withdrawal symptoms like कुछ बार लोगों को withdrawal में मिर्गी के झटके आते हैं, epileptic fits आते हैं, seizures आते हैं, कुछ बार लोगों को psychotic symptoms आते हैं, कुछ बार लोगों को agitation होता है, irritation होता है, suicidal thoughts आते हैं, कुछ बार लोगों को delirium होता है, they get disoriented, they don't understand where they are and what is happening around them. So it can get pretty severe. To avoid all of these things, we have to substitute it, and when we taper it off, we call it detoxification. When we detoxify, then we add at times anti-craving agent therapy and other things.
Why do you think suicidal thoughts happen? Do they feel like that? Is it the guilt? Is it because of the guilt?
It's not because of one particular reason, honestly. It's because of there's a whole traffic jam happening in the brain, so many stimulus running haywire at times, especially in delirium. तो वहाँ हो सकता है. Sometimes chronic alcohol use can lead to depression, and फिर देर कैन बी गिल्ट थॉट्स, वर्थलेसनेस कि मैंने ज़िंदगी ख़राब कर दी, मैंने घर वालों का सब ख़राब कर दिया, मेरी ज़िंदगी, दे हैव सीवियर हेल्थ इश्यूज विच वुड मेक देम अगेन प्रोन फॉर डिप्रेशन की आई वुड बेटर डाई देन लिव लाइफ लाइक दिस. सो दैट इज़ वेयर लॉट ऑफ टाइम डिप्रेसिव एंड सुसाइडल थॉट्स कम फ्रॉम.
Do you think that comorbid issues, मतलब comorbidity के भी cases होते हैं साथ में कि addiction के साथ
हमेशा होते हैं.
हमेशा.
We always say that addiction is never a primary thing. It is generally secondary to anxiety, secondary to depression, secondary to psychosis, secondary to ADHD.
Yeah, so I want to ask you कि मैंने ना जैसे मेरे को ये पूछना है कि like जो schizophrenia है, so like you know at what point जब हम लोग कोई सब्सटेंस इतना कंज्यूम कर लेते हैं, क्या आपने ऐसे केसेस बेसिकली देखे हैं कि जहाँ पे लोग ये ड्रग्स कर रहे हैं कंज्यूम एंड उनका वो schizophrenic symptoms में भी आ रहा है?
Yeah,
You have seen it?
definitely. There are a whole lot of researchers about it. Especially with stimulants, mushroom, amphetamines, methylphenidate. ये सारी चीज़ों में इसलिए होता है क्योंकि these molecules go and work on dopamine, and schizophrenia is caused by excessive dopamine in the brain. तो every substance can make you prone for psychosis क्योंकि हर substance dopamine ही बढ़ा रहा है.
हाँ.
अगर वो unchecked, unregulated रहता है तो आपका dopamine बढ़ के आपको psychotic symptoms आ सकते हैं.
हाँ. So जब ये कोमॉर्बिड के केसेस होते हैं, हाउ डू यू डील विद दैट?
We have to deal with both things. We have to treat both things simultaneously. Sometimes based on how the patient is, if they are very aggressive, very suicidal, harming self, harming others, harming property, not eating, not following, घर से भाग भाग के जा रहे हैं, ऐसे केसेस को कई बार हमें एडमिट करना पड़ता है. बहुत सीवियर हो तो हमें ECT देना पड़ता है. तो वो दवाई का we have to keep a balance between addressing both the symptoms together, क्योंकि it's like कोई पेशेंट है जिसको डायबिटीज भी और थायराइड की बीमारी भी है, तो आप कैसे मैनेज करोगे? आपको दोनों ट्रीट करने पड़ेंगे. इन द सेम वे यहाँ दो साइकेट्रिक इलनेस है, आपको दोनों ट्रीट करने पड़ेंगे.
जेनेटिक्स का कितना बड़ा रोल होता है एडिक्शन में?
सी जेनेटिक में जब हम बात करते हैं तो वी ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट नेचर वर्सेस नर्चर. जस्ट बिकॉज समबडी हैज अ जेनेटिक प्रेडिस्पोजिशन डजंट मीन कि वो होगा. इट्स ऑल्सो डिपेंड्स ऑन कि उनका एनवायरनमेंट क्या है. अगर आपको एक्सेसिबल है सब्सटेंस तो बिना जेनेटिक्स के भी लोगों को अल्कोहल यूज डिसऑर्डर होता है, राइट? जेनेटिक्स होने के बाद यू आर मोर प्रोन, आपका एडिक्शन पोटेंशियल बढ़ जाता है,
प्रेडिस्पोजिशन बढ़ जाती है.
एग्जैक्टली.
सो बिहेवियरल एडिक्शंस होती हैं, ये न्यूरोलॉजिकली सिमिलर होती हैं टू सब्सटेंस एडिक्शन?
टू सर्टेन डिग्री यस, सब्सटेंस एडिक्शन के साथ सिमिलर होती है, एंड टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट दे आर आल्सो रिलेटेड टू OCRD, ऑब्सेसिव कंपल्सिव रिलेटेड डिसऑर्डर, क्योंकि उसमें एक इम्पल्सिविटी और कंपल्सिविटी का लूप होता है कि आप चीज़ें इनिशिएट करने से पहले अपने आप को रोक नहीं पाते और एक बार वो शुरू हो जाए तो आप उसको अपने आप को रोक नहीं पाते. शुरू होने से पहले ना रोक पाना इज इम्पल्सिविटी, एंड एक बार कर लिया शुरू तो फिर उसके बाद नहीं रोक पा रहा इज कंपल्सिविटी. सो इन बिहेवियरल एडिक्शन, जैसे आप रील देख रहे हो, इंटरनेट एडिक्शन है, तो आप अपने आप को रोक नहीं पा रहे हो टू स्टार्ट इट, एंड वंस यू गेट स्टार्टेड यू आर नॉट एबल टू स्टॉप योरसेल्फ. सो दिस इज मोर रिलेटेड टू OCRD loop, OCD loop.
When we talk about behavioral addictions, जो मैंने ऑब्जर्व करा है उसमें ना कंफर्ट का बहुत बड़ा रोल होता है. People who are I think addicted to Instagram or scrolling and all of these things, they are very comfortable doing so, all of these activities. Do you think that as well?
I wouldn't say comfort, but I would say yeah, it gives a dopamine spike. I mean, if we are looking at neurobiologically, the comfort is pleasure and pleasure is dopamine. It's the same thing.
It's all related to each other. So what do you think is the typical treatment plan for someone with substance use disorder?
So as I said, there are two types of management that we do. One is OPD basis management, one is IPD basis management. OPD basis पे हम बोलते हैं कि आपको the causative factor, whatever that factor is, आपको वो रोकना पड़ेगा. You cannot go and take alcohol when we are taking substance because now हम detox कर रहे हैं. शरीर में जो शराब है हमको उसको कम करना चाहते हैं, निकालना चाहते हैं, so that हम ट्रीटमेंट की तरफ जाएं, so that हम एंटी क्रेविंग एजेंट्स की तरफ जाएं, so that हम फर्दर ट्रीटमेंट की तरफ जाएं. A lot of times they also have a lot of vitamin deficiencies, so we have to supplement those vitamins also, right? ये चीज़ें और इसके साथ साथ कोमॉर्बिडिटीज़ को ट्रीट करना, right? बट सम पेशेंट्स आर नॉट एबल टू कंट्रोल द यूसेज. वो घर जाके शराब भी ले लेते हैं और दवाई भी ले लेते हैं. दैट इज वेयर इट कैन बिकम प्रॉब्लमेटिक. देन वी हैव टू टेल देम कि हमें एडमिट करना पड़ेगा. एडमिट करने के बाद वी डू कंप्लीट साइकोलॉजिकल प्रोफाइलिंग ऑफ द पेशेंट, सी कि व्हाट आर द कोमॉर्बिडिटीज, व्हाट इज द सिवियरिटी, व्हाट इज द सब्सटेंस, एंड वी कॉल इट कीपिंग देम इन अ प्रोटेक्टेड एनवायरनमेंट जहाँ पे एक्सेस नहीं है. क्योंकि अब एक्सेस मिलने के बाद ना पेशेंट कितना पिएगा, क्या पिएगा, किस तरीके की शराब पिएगा, यू कैन नॉट रियली से, which can be more harmful. So अगर आप access cut कर दो and in a protected environment where they can't harm themselves because we have staff and we have all the trained professionals around, right? So इस तरीके से हम उनको protected environment में रखते हैं. वही दवाइयाँ जो ओपीडी में चल रही है वो आईपीडी में देते हैं. If there are certain other issues like aggression, like psychosis, तो we have to treat those issues also. And जैसे डिटॉक्सिफिकेशन हो जाता है उसके बाद में वी टॉक अबाउट रिहैबिलिटेशन. नाउ रिहैबिलिटेशन इज नॉट ओनली अबाउट सब्सटेंस, इट्स अबाउट ऑल साइकेट्रिक डिसऑर्डर्स. रिहैबिलिटेशन मतलब टू बी एबल टू रीच द लेवल ऑफ फंक्शनिंग दैट यू वर अर्लियर. तो रिहैब में बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती है. देयर आर कॉग्निटिव रिहैबिलिटेशन दैट वी डू, देयर आर सोशल रिहैबिलिटेशन दैट वी डू, देयर आर इंटरपर्सनल रिहैबिलिटेशन दैट वी डू. तो वी हैव टू टीच देम सर्टन स्किल्स, वी हैव टू engage them in certain activities, we have to teach them emotional expression, emotional intelligence, social intelligence. तो ये सारी चीज़ें कई बार ग्रुप थेरेपी में होती है, कई बार इंडिविजुअल थेरेपी में होती है. एंड मॉर्निंग से इवनिंग तक एक एक्टिविटी शेड्यूलिंग बनाया जाता है, एक रूटीन बनाया जाता है. सो दिस इज द प्रोटोकॉल दैट वी जनरली फॉलो एट अ रिहैब सेंटर और एट अ इन पेशेंट साइकेट्रिक फैसिलिटी टू ट्रीट दैम.
Yeah. See, like you mentioned social rehabilitation, and I was thinking that how our social life is so much related to us consuming these substances and so on and so forth. Because क्या होता है, it starts like that when see मैं जिस age से हूँ, I'm 20 years old right now, right? I've been seeing consumption of substances and alcohol whatever जब से मैं था I think 11 year old. मैं तब से देख रहा हूँ and I had most of the friends मेरे जो थे वो मुझसे बड़े ही थे, 3-4 years बड़े ही थे. एंड मैं ये बिल्कुल देख रहा था. सो आई हैव सीन सेट ऑफ पीपल जो बहुत अर्ली एज से सब कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, एंड आई हैव सीन सेट ऑफ पीपल जो बिल्कुल भी नहीं कर रहे हैं. एंड इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट दे आर इमेच्योर और इनएक्सपीरियंस्ड इन लाइफ और सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ, बट इट्स लाइक वो एक्सपीरियंस है लाइफ में, उन्होंने बेसिकली एक्सपोजर देख रखा है लाइफ का, बट ऑल्सो दे डोंट कंज्यूम एनी सब्सटेंस. एंड नाउ देयर इज अ परसेप्शन दैट people who consume substances, alcohol, they are more exposed to life, to fun, and so they have a certain maturity towards life. What do you think about this?
I think that's bullshit. Maturity is not related to exposure to alcohol. If that was, तो शराब बेचने वाला सबसे ज़्यादा mature इंसान होता, right? But that makes no sense at all. What happens is during this age, around 16 to 18, 16 to 22, 25, you get exposed to a lot of life stressors. आप कॉलेज में जाते हो, आप इंडिपेंडेंट बनते हो, you become an adult, you experience relationships for the first time, you experience finances for the first time, you go into a new job, you might get married. So a lot of new things happen in life which brings a lot of unprecedented stressors and stress. Sometimes people use this as coping. राइट कि उस स्ट्रेस से कोई बोलता है यार तू 2 घुट मार तो तुमको अच्छा लगेगा, टेंशन कम हो जाएगा, नींद आ जाएगी, राइट? सो पीपल यूज इट एज अ कोपिंग. I have also seen a lot of people getting exposed to these things, trying all kind of things while they're in college, but then जैसे जैसे वो कॉलेज लाइफ से बाहर निकलते हैं, प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में या मैरिज लाइफ में आगे जाते हैं, they realize कि मेरे को नहीं करना है सब चीज़ें. So they maintain and they have that sense of control to say no. So assertiveness बहुत ज़रूरी है. आप सिर्फ peer pressure के अंडर चीज़ें नहीं कर सकते constantly, because peer चला जाएगा, pressure बच जाएगा. That thing would stay with you later. So I've seen a lot of people are able to let go that. So बहुत सारे psychological underpinnings है, आपके psychological well-being overall कैसा है, उस पर भी ये चीज़ depend करती है. And maturity is not in harming your body and is not related to any substance. It's about exposure. Right? And exposure हर किसी को आता है लाइफ में. किसी को जल्दी आता है, किसी को लेट आता है. Right? And exposure means exposure to hardships, exposure to the life challenges, and exposure to how to tackle life differently.
Yeah.
When you are talking about people getting exposed to alcohol early, I would not call it exposure, I'll call it accessibility. They have it accessible, उनको लगता है कि हाँ है. People who have parents who are dealing with their traumas or dealing with their issues with alcohol are more prone to do the same because social learning. आपने अपने पिताजी को करते देखा, you are more likely to do it. People who have seen their parents drink responsibly are more likely to drink responsibly. So alcohol और maturity का कोई संबंध नहीं है दूर दूर तक. It is dependent on the person. Somebody might not drink and they might still be mature because life gave them those kind of experiences and exposures. Right, but as you said, हमारी social life में उसको इतना intricately engage कर रखा है alcohol को. There are a lot of people feel कि मैं अगर मना कर दूंगा तो फिर मेरी कोई social life ही नहीं रहेगी, फिर मुझे कोई बुलाएगा ही नहीं, फिर मेरे कोई दोस्त ही नहीं रहेंगे. And not having that will to say no, or not having that I'm not getting the word.
We just will.
I just said that word, but I'm not able to remember it again. No. Not having that assertiveness कि हाँ ठीक है, अगर मैं मना भी कर दूँ तो भी I am who I am and I like this identity and my friends are my friends. You are not my friend just because I'm drinking with you. Friendship is at so many levels. It's not about कि आप ड्रिंक कर रहे हो तो ये आप दोस्त हो. राइट, आपके लाइफ में अलग अलग तरीके के दोस्त रहते हैं. राइट, तो वो अगर आप डेवलप करो तो दैट इज अनदर फॉर्म ऑफ सेल्फ डेवलपमेंट, दैट इज अनदर फॉर्म ऑफ मैच्योरिटी एंड ग्रोथ दैट यू कैन डू फॉर योर ओन सेल्फ.
आपको इस पे बिलीव है that you should try everything in life?
I do not believe that. I think if you feel like you want to do it. There's no compulsion on anything. Right? It's जरूरी नहीं है कि आप हर चीज ट्राई करो. Right? अगर आपको लगता है आपको करना है करो. But everything has to be in moderation. Everything has to be in control. You should know that you are in control. If you lose control and something ends up happening, then you are responsible for it. And that's 18 plus, 21 plus. That's the age of responsibility. Right? So you can experiment and you can do things, nothing wrong about it, but make sure that you are doing it in an environment where you are safe, where there is a supervision, where you're protected. And if you don't feel like doing it, then be assertive and say कि नहीं, मुझे नहीं करना है.
I think this is also my assumption that people who are very agreeable in nature are very much prone to
They're very suggestible at times.
So do you think personality types are related to this substance?
Sometimes people with anxious personality are more prone to get into substance use because anxiety कम होती है उससे. Right? क्योंकि वो calm down करता है.
People use, it's pretty funny that people say कि यार मैं अपने behavior के लिए एक दवाई लूंगा क्या, but they are consuming alcohol.
या लोग दारू को दवा बना लेते हैं और फिर दारू के लिए उनको दवा लेनी पड़ती है, लेकिन जो दवा एक्चुअली उन पे काम करती है, रिसर्च बैक मॉलिक्यूल्स which are going to help them, they don't take it. I know patients. I've once seen a patient who had 14 different substances addiction at once. 14 अलग-अलग चीजों का एडिक्शन था उनको. And the moment I prescribed him medicine, he asked me कि सर इसकी आदत तो नहीं लग जाएगी, and I was like, dude,
It's just funny.
dude, आदत को हटाने के लिए तो दवाई दे रहे हैं, and you are blaming that one thing which is actually going helping you protect, which is good for you.
Yeah, right. When you mentioned accessibility and exposure में एक फर्क होता है. जब मैं बात कर रहा था ना कि कैसे ये मैच्योरिटी से शायद रिलेटेड है, ऑफ कोर्स एक assumption था पहली बात. तो दूसरा मैंने ये चीज़ इसीलिए आपसे पूछा है क्वेश्चन अमित से, क्योंकि people who consume alcohol या फिर any substance, they are in the social situations more. राइट, ऑफ कोर्स, क्योंकि एक सोशल सिचुएशन है तो उसके लिए लोग रहते हैं. When you are exposed to any social situation at maybe an early stage of life, you see a lot of personalities, you see a lot of minds all together, and sometimes you see a diversity there. So you would learn a lot of things from somebody, or maybe you would be like, be a part of that social group, right? So do you think ये भी एक exposure कहीं ना कहीं शायद जरूरी है? जैसे मेरा एक शायद एक पर्सनल बिलीफ एक और है कि you don't consume anything, but maybe be or be surrounded by those places maybe. if एक early age पे हो रहा है then it is good only, because अगर आप एक early age पे सबसे expose हो रहे हो ना, and see influence और commitment, ये एक ऐसी चीज है जो basically values होती है एक इंसान की. और वो वैल्यूज कहाँ से आ रही है? वो पेरेंट्स हो सकते हैं, केयर गिवर्स हो सकते हैं, द रोल मॉडल्स यू हैव इन योर लाइफ. सो बिफोर यू आर एक्सपोज्ड टू दिस एनवायरनमेंट, आई थिंक one thing could be that you should be sure of your ideals. You should
But
be
how would you be
sure of your
how would
ideals.
you be sure? You don't even know what your values are, you don't know what your ideals are, because you are in the formative phase, right? So rather than saying कि ये ऐसा होता है या ऐसा हो सकता है, I think these are more of a hypothesis. These are not
Hypothetical situation.
there's no scientific evidence,
हाँ,
or there's no
हाँ.
research base for us to say कि इससे फायदा होता है. But research has said that people who have early exposure to alcohol, early exposure and accessibility to alcohol, and social stressors are more prone to develop an addiction, are more prone to go ahead and end up having alcohol related issues later in life. That is research, right? That is documented research. So because you are at that stage, as a psychologist, as a psychiatrist, we talk about values and we talk about identity, but a lot of people would not understand what these things are, right? तो वो उस पर्सपेक्टिव से नहीं देखते. People are occupied so many times with what is going on in life and how life is happening around them, and they just go with the flow, and sometimes these things happen as a parallel collateral damage to them, so they are not really able to take a step at those times. But that is where I think this podcast needs to go out and create that awareness ki, what seems very harmless can become something very problematic later, and to avoid that we need to have a sense of control. We need to know the why. We need to know that it is in our control. We are able to say no when we need to say no, क्योंकि ये चीज आपको प्रोटेक्ट करेगी. These are the characteristics of a person who is able to take a stand for themselves, who is able to solve problems without going for quick fixes, and this is something which will help you in long run also.
Yeah. But people are generally like that they can't take stand for themselves. That is the issue
Happens.
that they're dealing with a lot. कि उनको अपने autonomy नहीं है, basically autonomy के issues होते हैं.
I think that a lot of it again comes back to parenting, comes back to environment that they grow up in. So we can't really generalize that people can't take stand. There are people who can't. There are people because they can't. They learn that they need to, and there are people who can.
How can like people who are addicts can deal with this instant gratification? What do you think?
See, we generally say कि alcohol की जब आपको craving हो रही है या किसी भी चीज़ की जब आपको craving हो रही है, so there are certain techniques that you should use. We call it 4D. One is delay, कि अभी नहीं बाद में लेते हैं, which is basically delaying the gratification. ठीक है. Second is deep breathe. Third is drink hot water. Fourth is discuss or distract yourself. Right? कि अभी नहीं बाद में, अभी नहीं बाद में. So that way you are delaying gratification, because in the world of instant gratification, अगर आप instant gratification ले रहे हो तो then again everything, every behavior, every action that we are doing is leading to certain loop in our brain getting strengthened. Right? So when you are doing instant gratification related things again and again, what it is doing is it is reducing your potential to manage distress, potential to manage the discomfort. That is why you need gratification to feel better. And that is what would also then वो gratification की चीज़ change होती जाएगी. कभी वो स्मोकिंग होगा, कभी वो वीडियो होगा, कभी वो अल्कोहल होगा, कभी वो पॉर्न होगा, कभी वो डिजिटल या इंस्टाग्राम या इंटरनेट रिलेटेड चीज़ें होगी, कभी वो गैमलिंग होगा. वो चीज़ बदलते जाएगी, उसका मीडियम बदलता जाएगा. लेकिन द मोमेंट यू ट्रेन योर सेल्फ टू डिले ग्रेटिफिकेशन, टू zone out in that moment, to zoom out and take more mindful decision, it helps you in the long run.
Yeah, that is right. What do you think motivation जो है, motivation कितना ज़्यादा related है overcoming any substance?
Motivation is definitely related. So that's why the therapy that we use in substance use disorder, we call it motivation enhancement therapy. जिसमें motivation के अलग-अलग grades हैं. We want to move them from being not motivated or from being just thinking about it to actually taking steps and maintaining that abstinence. So motivation and self-willingness to do it is definitely important.
Where do you think motivation is generated from?
Sometimes
Except
it's
of purpose.
sometimes it's internal, sometimes it's external. जैसे मैंने बोला, for some people, if something is at stake, they might be motivated. For some people, because they're going to get something, they might be motivated.
That is right. Do you believe so that someone can fully recover from any kind of addiction?
Yes, they can. Yes, they definitely can. I would recommend that, if required, take medicines. If required, take therapy. Along with medicines and therapy, the social support also plays a very vital role. तो हम पेशेंट को ये बोलते हैं कि मेरी दवाइयाँ 10% काम करेगी, 90% आपके ऊपर है और फैमिली के ऊपर है. Sometimes family environment also plays a very major role. Friends that you hang out with plays a very major role. So अगर आप इन चीज़ों को थोड़ा थोड़ा चेंज कर सको या फिर इन चीज़ों, if these things are favorable, good prognostic factors are there, then people do recover completely.
And do you think that they have to manage this lifelong?
Not really. Not really.
Not really.
See, relapses can happen, but in a lot of people who go through the whole process of psychotherapy and social changes and working on themselves and biological intervention wherever required, वो इतना लंबा प्रोसेस है ना कि वो अपने आप मोस्ट केसेस में बहुत अच्छी रिकवरी होती है कि बाद में वो लैप्सेस के रिलैप्सेस नहीं हो रहे हैं.
समझ रहा हूँ. अब मैंने spiritual awakening जैसे mention करी थी, right? Have you seen cases when people have expressed this thought to you that, sir, this happened with me, there was a spiritual awakening when I consumed that substance?
I have seen cases and I sometimes see it is in their terms, and as long as my job as a psychiatrist is as long as it's not leading to a disorder, it's okay. Whatever name you name it, that's okay. But as long as वो spiritual awakening के लिए आप बार बार वो substance use नहीं कर रहे हो और आपको disorder की तरफ नहीं जा रहे हो, क्या function नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तब तक it would not require any kind of treatment.
And अगर वो functioning पे जैसे affect कर रहा है and जैसे क्या होता है कई बार functioning पे affect कर रहा है and spiritual और the person is saying कि यार लेकिन ये जो spiritual awakening थी मैं इससे इतना ज़्यादा overwhelmed हूँ या फिर मुझे ये चीज़ इतनी positive लग रही है that I want to consume it more and more so that I get this spiritual awakening again and again, the spiritual experience.
Then the spiritual awakening is basically just a rationalization to keep using this substance because your brain is asking for more dopamine, right? And basically it is the loop of seeking the substance, feeling better, feeling the crash, wanting the substance, seeking the substance, feeling better. तो आप addiction की तरफ जा रहे हो फिर से.
Have you seen people rationalizing their thoughts even when they are having a conversation with themselves?
Yeah,
That happens?
happens all the time.
Would you tell me any instance?
A lot of times it happens. People give rationalizations based on देखो मैं इतना परेशान हूँ, अब मैं डॉक्टर साहब देखो मुझे और तो कोई प्रॉब्लम है नहीं, अब ये एक ही चीज़ है, एक चीज़ से अच्छा लगता है, अब क्या मैं वो भी बंद कर दूँ? घर में इतने प्रॉब्लम है, जॉब पे इतनी प्रॉब्लम है, कोई सुनने वाला है नहीं, एक चीज़ से अच्छा लगता है, क्या वो भी बंद कर दूँ? These are rationalizations that people give. Lot of time they say कि हाँ मैं करना तो चाहता हूँ, लेकिन फिर मैं सोचता हूँ कि अगर मैं करूँगा तो फिर दोस्तों के साथ कैसे बाहर जाऊँगा, फिर दोस्त मेरे सुनेंगे नहीं मेरी बात, तो उससे अच्छा फिर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि दोस्त रहेंगे तो ही तो ज़िंदगी में मज़ा है, थोड़ा बहुत शराब पी लेंगे, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? Again, rationalization.
How do you think? See, I've seen this. जो जैसा आपने भी बोला कि पेशेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो बात करते हैं कि मेरी सोशल लाइफ इफेक्ट हो जाएगी बेसिकली, एंड हाउ कैन दे बेसिकली मे बी डिटैच देमसेल्व्स from this social group that they are a part of, जिसमें alcohol.
That's a bit difficult thing. That's a bit difficult thing क्योंकि after a certain age you don't really make friends. We recommend people to go to support groups like Alcoholic Anonymous and things like that, जहाँ पे they might get more like-minded people. But for a lot of people it becomes difficult to find that group. कुछ लोगों के लिए होता है कि they find that group and things go very great for them, very good for them. Some people have this. I've also seen in certain groups that one person chose I would not be with my group because वो सब शराब पीते और मुझे नहीं पीनी है, and then the whole group decided कि नहीं यार हम भी कम कर देते हैं, अपने लिए भी तो अच्छी बात नहीं है. So that can also happen. One person's step can also affect others.
But it's like about that what kind of dynamic you guys have.
Exactly, and also motivation. उनका खुद का self motivation.
तो जैसे कई बार होते हैं जो social groups होते हैं, जैसे I lost my train of thought. जैसे कुछ social groups होते हैं जहाँ पर the patient, like the person is like, जैसे आपने बोला कि बहुत ज़्यादा difficult होता है to leave that social group. So I was thinking, okay, I was thinking in my mind that a lot of, I think older men, they consume alcohol and stuff like that. And वो भी इसलिए पी रहे हैं क्योंकि कई बार उनके peers भी पी रहे होते हैं.
Loneliness है,
And this is
peer
and
pressure.
हाँ and this is not exactly कि age की बात है. It's like a कोई भी age पे हो सकता है ये.
Right.
60-year-old man can also like drink with people
Right.
and stuff like that. I want to ask you, have you seen like more men being inclined towards addiction?
Not really. It can happen in both genders. क्या होता है ना, because of accessibility, men have more accessibility. A lot of women do not go out of the household, so वहाँ accessibility कम हो जाती है. So that is why. और जो presentation हो रहा है उसमें भी कई बार treatment seeking behavior भी men में ज़्यादा होता है, women में कम होता है. Because they would rush it, they would not acknowledge it. So वहाँ पे उसकी वजह से presentation कम होता है. But there is also a wave, or there is also a phenomena where it is seen in females also in certain states more than other, that females have tobacco addiction, smoking addiction, जो ज़्यादा accessible है, जो ज़्यादा acceptable चीज़ें हैं, alcohol addiction also at times. And another thing is in women, addiction का जो curve है वो बहुत steep है, मतलब वो जब शुरू करते हैं तो बहुत जल्दी addiction की तरफ चले जाते हैं. In men it might take longer time,
And do you think
which is
that is
also because
because
of the biological reasons,
Yeah.
the enzymes and the metabolism of the substances in the
Yeah.
body. And women may also, the influence, the effect of alcohol, you would find at a lower blood alcohol concentration than in men, again because of the biological changes in both.
Do you think it is also because of the emotionality, like because women are
Not
more
really,
emotional?
not really, not really.
What is like the one advice that you will give to anyone who's consuming substance right now and is going through
I
a
would
phase?
say that if you're doing it to celebrate once in a while, that's okay. But don't let it be your companion for hard times, difficult times. Don't make alcohol your friend. Don't make any substance your friend. And if you think that इसकी वजह से problem हो रहा है, then be brave enough to come out and seek support. There are very good modalities available to get rid of it, and you can go back to a kind of life that you wanna live. You don't want to carry the baggage on your way to achieving your dreams. You can let it go and create the kind of life that you want to live.
Okay, I think that's it for the day. I think so. And thank you so much, sir,
Thank
for your
you.
time.
I hope you guys liked the conversation. We discussed a lot, I think, about essentially dopamine, like how you see that this neurotransmitter dopamine ये कितना ज़्यादा इम्पैक्ट कर सकता है when it comes to you know like इसका कितना बड़ा रोल है when it comes to substances, right? इसका रोल हर चीज़ में ही है. Dopamine is something, like as we had discussed, that dopamine is something that is released like whenever we do even something productive and something just basically which is uh, joyful for us, which puts us in a state of pleasure. It is essential to know कि यार ये जो substances हैं, cigarette, vape, marijuana, alcohol, all of these things give us a dopamine to a level जो naturally achieve करना बहुत possible है through activities like taking care of your mental health, taking care of your physical health, going out for a walk, working on your physical activity, doing something really productive, maybe academically, maybe career wise. All of these things take some kind of effort. It takes some kind of course, a lot of things, hard work, resilience. And so to achieve that level of dopamine, we need to work hard if we want to achieve it naturally. But if we want to, if we just want to feel good temporarily, then we tend to consume these kind of substances. Now what I have seen around me, and I could be wrong as well, that people consume these substances to just to relieve from their stresses, to feel good, to feel happy. um I think I just want to talk about happiness here for 2 minutes, right? If I speak from a psychological point of view, there are two types of happiness. Okay, so uh, there is a eudaimonic way of to achieve happiness, and there is hedonistic view of happiness. Now, the eudaimonic way of happiness here talks about when you achieve happiness through meaning. Okay. Now, when you achieve happiness through meaning, what does that mean? It essentially means that maybe you're actually having good quality relationships, you're building yourself basically in every aspect, physically, mentally, socially, and that is the eudaimonic way of happiness. It puts an emphasis on that you are achieving happiness through things that develop you mentally, physically, emotionally, right? That is the eudaimonic way of happiness. When you do something which has an actual meaning towards it, it is something which I could say is long term oriented. It's a long term oriented happiness in a way, you can say that. Hedonistic view or hedonism here talks about that you achieve happiness in the moment. It's temporary. So it's like you consume alcohol or you consume, for that matter, any kind of substance, and you feel good at that particular moment. Now that you know this bit of knowledge about what is eudaimonia and what is uh, hedonism, I want you to reflect and talk and think that what kind of happiness or what kind of way you want to choose to achieve happiness in life. Is it that you want to consume these substances, or not even substances? Is it that you want to scroll through social media and probably waste your time by not doing something valuable? Or I'm not against the idea of doing these things. It's about if you do these things in extremes, right? So that's not healthy. So my point here is that you need to choose your way of happiness. Is it eudaimonia or is it the hedonistic view here? And hedonism, I'm not against the idea again. It's all about doing things in extremes, right? Sometimes hedonistic experiences are good. I'm not against the idea of it. But it's all about the extent. It's all about the frequency of doing all of those things, right? So I think it's something for you all to think about, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the episode, and yeah, um, have a good day ahead, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.